Hi, so it's Friday and I'm kind of tired, and as you can probably tell, my nose is kind of stuffed as well, but I said I was gonna make this video, and this is another video of mine that you see on the screen here. Probably one of the few times you will see me and Rob. He's like the holy grail to Age of Sigmar YouTube videos, I think. So that you will see us two together in one screen, but here you go. Anyways, I got a comment, and I got a comment from just my 2 cents. So I told you that I would reply, or I told you that I was gonna try to make a video, and as you can see in the comments, I thought that would be possible yesterday, but it wasn't, so I'm gonna make it now. It's not gonna be super long, but I'm gonna go through a bit of my thoughts, and so for your information, this video is gonna be about that, and he bought a Spearhead box, and with the units from there, and he wanna make a list based out of squigs and troggots, and he also wanna know some of my thoughts about that and how to build it further, and also he would like to know a list or suggestions on a list with few models. So I'm not sure if that's because he don't want to get a bunch of stuff to paint or what it is, but I'm gonna go through some stuff, and maybe that's a good advice for you guys starting out Gitz as well, thinking about like having few models that you don't have to paint as many, but still have a pretty good list. And as well, I will just like briefly look into some which I think is like good pickups if you're getting into Gitz, affordable choices on what to buy. So let's go through with the video then. We will start off at just looking at the Spearhead content. So this is what you get in the Spearhead. This is Swedish. I don't know what it would be like. I know the US prices might be a bit more, but that would be in Swedish crowns. This is compared to US, it's about like $100 worth of content here. And from this, I would say the upper top is great, the bottom isn't that good. But my man here, he asked me about, I'm just assuming now that you're a guy, maybe you're not, so I'm sorry if you're not. Anyways, he asked me about the shootas or stabbas, and I would say which one is better. I would say neither one is really good. You can use them because it's multiple units and there's still some wounds to punch through, but I would rather go with the squig herds if I were you. And if you're gonna go with them, and if you want to use the loon boss, then I would say stabbas are better because he got buffs for them. You can as well, like, I mean, you can always have the shootas standing on an objective and like point, and then maybe you lock something up with the troggots or something like that, and they might do something, but mostly they're just gonna be like a meat wall for your enemy to punch through fairly quick. So I wouldn't suggest on picking them or spending your time on them that much. I would advise you to rather go with the upper top and build the list out of that. And so the next step for that, I would go with, I'm just gonna go through some of the units that's in the Gloomspite Gitz and which you can buy at the moment. And of course you have the new Git mobs, and since the points got dropped a bit, I haven't looked into it that much, but if you see my earlier video, I'm not super excited about any of these units in this box, although the new cards and the battle tome is good. I bought 2 of the boxes already, so I just like opened book and look through it. I got a video of that as well, but I haven't released it yet. I don't know why. I'm gonna do that. And besides that, I'm not like super excited. Probably the most interesting ones might be the chariots out of these, and maybe the drogs, the leader. But anyways, let's not focus on that. We already talked about the Spearhead. We got these units that are good. We got the Gobapalooza, which is good to have as well. Trug can be good. Kragnos can also be very good. I would skip the Grunt Riders. I would say these are like in the medium range, depending on what you build. The list, you can have the Fanatics or the what are the other ones called? Loon Smashes, I think. You have the Loombas, which is not that good. You have the Squig Herds, great. There are the Fanatics that I talked about. And if you're running a list with a bunch of stabbas and stuff, you should probably have... it could be a fun list to play, I would say. And then you would have some Fanatics as well hiding within these squads. The Loon Shrine is a must. You should get that. I think it's really good to get the units back. So get that. And what else do we have here? As I said earlier, the shootas and the stabbas, not that good. The Fellwater could be good, but they're not. They just go with the rock cuts instead, so I wouldn't bother. Boiling Grip Bounders, still really, really good. If you're going within the squigs, go with the Boiling Grip Bounders. You also get the movement to go, because a problem if you only go with the rock cuts, even if you pick the what's it called? I have to check this out. The Honor Guard that gives a hero being able to buff them to +2 move. It's still like you still need the mobility with the Boiling Grip Bounders, I think. But if you also have a list without the Boiling Grip Bounders and you have Kragnos, for example, 3d6 charge, then maybe you won't need the Boiling Grip Bounders in that type of list. But you were wondering about the list with the squigs and the rock cuts. So neither of these I would pick. Squig Boss can be good, so have him in mind. He's very useful with his buffs. Dan Cold, decent depending on how you build it. Scragrot is always good. You have the Endless Spells, which are good. Squig Hoppers, they can be useful, but they're very difficult to use their ability in a good way. It's difficult to pull it off. Sneaky Snufflers, not good if you're running the list that I'm suggesting you should run, but they're a good unit if you're making like mostly squigs, then they're good. Fungoid Cave Shaman is pretty good as well. Cheap option to have a wizard, and not good. And also the Dan Cold can of course be built as a what is it called? A Trog boss or just Dan Cold Trogoth. And they both have abilities that are interesting. I would say that so the Wait and Smash once per turn army, you can do it in any combat phase. You can move 6, but must move end that move in combat, then roll a d3 for each enemy unit within one of these units. So that can make a bunch of damage and also move him around. And the Dan Cold Trog boss have this, which is, I think I'm not like, it's been a while since I played now, but I think that it used to be in combat range of him. If you're watching this, correct me if I'm wrong, but now it's on a 4+ for the rest of the turn. Add 1 to the attack characteristics of melee weapons used by a friendly Trogoth unit while they're holding within 12 of this unit. And this is actually a pretty good buff. So the Dan Cold Trog boss he's up there when it comes to like if you want few units and build a list of squigs and troggots, he might be a good option for you to build. I started putting stuff together, but it's very difficult because I'm not really sure what you're getting after when it comes to like if you want to have it as cheap as possible or if you want to have as few units as possible or whatnot. And I still think the list that I brought up in an earlier video with the top tier list back then, they're still pretty viable to this day. All right, so that's that. And if you find this box, it's I think it was called a Dawnbringer box. Yeah, it was called Dawnbringer box. That has a good value. You get 6 rockets and you get Trug. Trug, I think he's a lot of points and he's quite easy to kill. So he's not the best option, I would say. I'm not a big fan of having a unit that is a lot of points and might die fairly easy. But that's just me. People play differently. And also it's a bit of randomness with his buffs as well. But he's not bad, not at all. But he's not. I wouldn't say he's the best pick. But the others are good, so maybe just buy it, sell him, and then you probably almost get the Troggots for free. And I don't know, but I found it at some stores not too long ago, and you can find it sometimes secondhand as well. The other box is this Braggart's Bottle Snatches. You get the Rebel Rosa, but in this box, I wouldn't use Rebel Rosa really. He's a fun character for sure, but it's not something I would use. I would prefer using all the other ones though. So you have more Boingrot Bounders or Squig Hoppers if you want to make them, but I would go with Boingrots, and then you have the Gobapalooza and you have the Squig Herd. So this is great value, this box. I would strongly suggest to hunt this down, track this down for the list you're trying to build. And yeah, that's that. I'll just show that off. But so from here, I would still say like Rocket Troggots are still really good. Just get a bunch of them. You can get Kragnos as well and have the D3 charge, which is really, really good. And you can have that if you're gonna go that way. I would say lean more into just trolls. If you're not gonna go with him, then maybe use have the mix, and I would suggest Boingrot Bounders. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna show you here. I would suggest you to look into these. So that's a maybe. That's a good option for a second regiment, for example. You got the Skragrot, great option. You can have him in all of your lists probably. He's really good. You can have the Squig Boss. He got a bit more pricey, but he's still very good. And when we come down here, I would suggest you to go with the Rockets, maybe a Gobapalooza, or maybe 2 if you want that. I would also suggest you to go with when the Doomdiver Catapult comes out. That's going to be an interesting choice for a bunch of armies. I really like that unit, so I'm gonna look into that when it comes out. I'm probably gonna pick it up and try to build some list out of that. And then you have the Boingrot Bounders that I talked about, really, really good, I think, and the Squig Herds. So that would be like what I would suggest for you to build your list out of now. I said this video wasn't gonna be that long, but it's already been 14 minutes, so it got pretty long. But I hope you found some kind of use of the video, And also, I hope that other people watching this video also found it interesting for them. So I'm gonna probably label this as what's next from the Spearhead Gloomspite Gitz. If you're building an army, that's gonna be a very long name, so I'm not gonna name it that, but something close to it. I forgot to mention that the Mangler Squig is it's also an interesting option if you're going with the Squig list, because it got some point drop in the latest update, and it's a bit swingy, but it can be interesting, and it can also just like go into the back of someone's territory and maybe make some important damage to some characters or some other shooting units that they're trying to hold back from you. So look into that. But when you build a list in general, like look at the current battle tactics, think of them and the battle plans that are out there, and like how are you gonna deal with turn 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you have to have that sweet spot of having the flexibility and movement, but still being able to bring a lot of punch and power and survivability. And you can, of course, do that in multiple ways. You can stay away and trying to pick your targets. You can go a bunch or like do heavy focus on one side or in the middle or whatnot. But at least like have that in mind when building a list, because if you only have slow units, it's gonna be tough with some of the battle tactics. And if you only have fast units, they're usually not as durable, so then you might be wiped out. So a suggestion would be, if you're fairly new to this and want a bit more competitive list, then try to get a balance of this. And as I said earlier, the rockets are going to be very, very good as long as they stay as they are now. So hope that you found this video interesting, and just my 2 cents. Hopefully you will save a bunch of money buying this other boxes that I talked to you about, and maybe earning a bunch of or at least a little money on Trug, and then maybe you get 4 cents in total, and you can make a new account. Anyways, that's it for now. Until next time, take care, see you soon, auf Wiedersehen, and so on and so forth. Bye.